All right, grade 6. So today for grammar, we are going to do something that will also be a little bit of a review where we're working with adjectives and adverbs, which you guys use often. So it shouldn't be anything too confusing or new that you're learning, just more of good practice and review. So let's compare the two so we can get them straight, and then we'll go over some examples. An adjective describes a subject when it comes after a linking verb. It can also come before a noun and describe it. Whereas an adverb usually comes after a verb and describes it. It can also come before an adjective or adverb and describe them. So adverb usually comes after a verb. So let's look at some examples of adjectives and then see how we turn them into adverbs. First, we have beautiful. Anne is a beautiful girl. Anne is the subject, is our linking verb, and the adjective is beautiful. Now, if we want to turn beautiful into an adverb, this is like one of the just regular. Most adjectives you can do that just this. You need to add ly. So we change it to beautifully. She dances beautifully. This time we have an adverb instead of an adjective because we already have a verb here. This is describing that verb. So we need it to be an adverb. So most adjectives you can do this. You just have to add ly. There's a couple of examples here. Now there's some adjectives or adverbs that don't fit into this rule, the main rule. First one here is adjectives that end with y, like easy. The question is easy. I don't just say add ly like this, easily. You got to get rid of this y and add an I to make easily. So anytime you see an adjective that ends with y, you need to get rid of the y and add il. There's a few examples here. Now, there's some adjectives that are the exact same word when you use it as an adverb. For example, fast. We don't say fastly, we just say fast, even when we're describing a verb. He runs fast. So just try to remember these four: fast, we don't change, and then early, hard, and late. You don't need to add anything, you don't need to change anything. So those are just going to be some that you've got to remember, or you can look up at your box here. And then the last one is just very weird. You don't change it by adding letters, you change it completely. If you want to describe a verb and say that it's good, you change that completely to well. So this one you just have to remember. You don't ever say, I played baseball goodly. You say, I play baseball well, always. So this one, definitely try to remember. All right, you can come back and look at this whenever you need, but I'm gonna scroll down and explain each different part here. So first, we are going to circle the adjectives and underline the adverbs. So anytime you see something that ends with ly, like most of our adverbs, you know it's definitely an adverb, so you need to underline it. And then you also have those irregulars down here. Otherwise, if it's just a describing word and it's describing a noun, we know that it's going to be an adjective, so you're going to circle it. Let's do the first one together. The dog barks loudly on the street. I see ly, loudly. I know that's an adverb because it's describing this verb. All right, the rest of those, scroll down. All right, circle the correct words. You just need to decide, do I need an adjective or do I need an adverb? The restaurant is very noisy or noisily. Well, I know that my word is describing the restaurant. Restaurant is not a verb, so I don't need an adverb. I need an adjective. It's noisy, it's not noisily. You might say that someone is talking noisily, but you wouldn't describe the restaurant as noisily. Let's keep moving. All right, so now we have comparatives and superlatives, which you guys also should know how to use. A comparative is when you're comparing two people, things, or places, and you generally add ER or more to an adjective or adverb. So we're still using adjective and adverbs. Now we're just comparing two different things. A superlative compares three or more people, things, or places by adding est or most to an adjective or adverb. So a superlative is when it's like the most of something, the tallest, the biggest. All right, so let's look here. We have a picture, Mark, Peter, and John, and we're going to describe them, their age. First, we could start out by saying, just with an adjective, John is young. We're describing John. Now we want to compare, I don't know what that was. We want to compare Peter to John. So Peter is younger than John. So you add ER and you also need to throw in that than. Then if we want to pick the most of something, who is has the smallest age, Mark is the youngest of the three. Now, if we are doing the superlative, you're gonna always have the in front of it. The youngest, the biggest, the smartest. All right, there's a couple more examples here. You can look at those as needed. Now, some adjectives and adverbs change their forms irregularly, so different than we expect. So just like the adjective changing to an adverb is different for good and well, when we are comparing and we have superlatives, it's also different again. So let's see. John reads well. If I want to compare how John reads to Sam, I would not say John reads weller than Sam. I say John reads better than Sam. And then if I wanted to be the very, very best reader, I would use best. John is the best reader. Okay, so these irregulars, you just gotta look out for, try to remember them, or if you spot one and you're trying to change it and it sounds weird, look back here. So bad is also different. We change it to worse and worst. And if we have many, much, change it to more than most. Okay, so look out for those. Let's scroll. Here you need to write the comparative and superlative forms of the adjectives and adverbs. So in this column, let's write comparative. Here, write superlative. So pretty. Pretty ends with a Y. So we need to change it to prettier. We have a Y at the end. I don't know what to do with that Y. We don't just add ER, but just like with the adverbs, we change the Y to an I and then add on our ending. Prettier is our comparative. Then our superlative, prettiest. All right, so try that with the rest of those. Look out for those irregulars. Now, complete the sentences using the comparatives or superlatives. So you need to decide which one you need. How are you going to know? You see, then, you know, you're comparing. If you see the, oh no, you need to add the, sorry. But if you don't see then, you know, you need a superlative. So you need to add the and then add the ending that you need. The smartest, the biggest. Okay, a couple more pages. Complete the sentences using adjectives and adverbs. This is like the first box. So, Tom is polite. He speaks. Now for this one, you need to change it to an adverb. First, you'll have the adjective, just stays the same. You put it in the box. And then you're gonna have the adverb. Tom is polite. He speaks politely. Now, not all of them are going to go in that order. You might have the adverb first and then the adjective second. You just need to figure that out based on if they're describing a person or if they're describing a verb. Okay. Choose and complete the sentences using the comparatives or superlatives. So if you see then, let's see, Brian arrived at the movie theater at 7:30. Mary arrived at 7:55. Mary arrived at the movie theater blank Brian. Okay, so we need to choose our verb, or our adjective, excuse me, and then change it to the comparative or the superlative. So for this one, I know it's a comparative because we're comparing when Mary got there to when Brian got there. So let's look at our times. We have late as an option. No, she was later than Brian. So Mary arrived at the movie theater later than, can't even read that. Later than, sorry, that was awful. Later than Brian. You might also have superlative. That would only be if it's like the most of something. All right, complete the dialogues. You are given the adjective. You need to either, let's see, are they all comparatives? Okay, these are comparatives or superlatives. So you need to decide C or S for these. They give you the adjective, you just need to change it depending on if they're comparing two things or saying, if they're saying that it's the most of something. All right, last page. All right, so look at the film review chart and complete the passage. So you have this chart here to help you fill out the information. Space Monkey is blank movie. Tells us our adjective, short. All right. Where's Space Monkey? Okay, so it's 89 minutes, fun and creative, and there's our stars. So Space Monkey is short movie. Would I say it's a shortly movie? Shorter than? No, we're not comparing anything. So I know I'm just saying simply that it is short. Space Monkey is a short movie. Oh, just kidding. We can do something else. We can use a superlative, right? Let's look at the length of the other movies. 110, 135. This is the most short, so it is the shortest movie. Sorry, I almost gave you the wrong answer. Shortest movie. So you're probably going to be comparing things. You are going to be comparing all of these. So you're going to have comparatives or superlatives. Okay. Last part. Find the mistakes. This time we have 10. You need to decide which 5 of them are incorrect and then make those changes. All right. So like I said before, nothing new, I assume. So it shouldn't be too difficult, but of course, if you have any questions, please let me know.